I'm going to walk back here and find my seat. Pardon me. All right. Hey guys, here we go. Our final story of the evening begins this way. The downfall of Rosa Carmichael begins with the death of a young boy here at the orphanage. His name was Robert Turner. Robert was 13 years old while he was here, and he was diagnosed with what they called inflated bowel. Think of it as appendicitis. Robert should have been sent to the hospital, at the very least gone to see a doctor, neither of which happened. About a week after his diagnosis, Robert dies. He is secretly buried out behind the orphanage. And when I say secretly, guys, think of it this way. No one in town knew about this boy's death, and very few people in the orphanage were aware of it. He was simply died and buried behind the orphanage. Word got out that a boy had died here. At the time, it's believed that Rosa Carmichael herself called the authorities and said that a boy had died, probably trying to blame someone else. But however it really happened, word gets out, and the people in town are furious about it. A few of them come up, and they question Rosa. For years, they've been hearing odd things about the orphanage. They couldn't come in and see the kids whenever they wanted to. They were being mistreated. They heard all those stories. But this one was the one that caused them to come up and take a look. Those people from town came up, and they questioned Rosa. They said, "Why is this boy dead? What's happening here? Why didn't he go see a doctor?" Well, she gave them answers that she'd rehearsed. They absolutely didn't believe her. And they said, "Take us. Take us back and show us where Robert's buried. We want to see for ourselves." What does Rosa do? She takes these people. She walks out behind the orphanage, stands and points, and says, "He's over there." Guys, think for a minute. What does that tell you? He's over there. It tells me that she'd either done it so many times she simply didn't remember where Robert was buried, or she had no part in it at all. They go and look. These people that came up from town, they go behind the orphanage and look. And they do come across remains. But the remains they're able to find are much, much older than a boy who had recently died. They keep looking and come across, as they describe it, fresh earth, a newly dug grave. This must be Robert. Folks, imagine. They take Robert's remains from the ground. They're carried back into town and given to the coroner to do a proper examination. What he's able to find, the coroner very quickly determines that young Robert didn't die from appendicitis. He died instead from severe malnutrition. Now, it wasn't long after this is found out that Rosa Carmichael is taken out of the orphanage. August 26th, 1877. Rosa Carmichael. That was water coming down through the pipes. August 26th, 1877. Rosa Carmichael is finally put on trial for her deeds here. She is found guilty of aggravated assault. Her punishment? She is given a $20 fine and forced to leave Gettysburg. You guys are thinking, $20? Is that it?
Back then, it's like $1 million.
Yeah, $20, guys, was a good deal of money back then. If you think about it this way, in the 1860s and 70s, right? Skilled laborers, carpenters, blacksmiths, they made about $1 a day. So it's almost a month's wages. But here's the really important thing. When Rosa Carmichael leaves Gettysburg, she's actually forced out. She literally disappears from the historical record. To this day, no one's found a photograph, so we have no idea what she looked like. We don't have a work history, so we don't know how old she was. If she ever had kids of her own, if she ever married, had a steady job again. We simply don't know. People ask all the time, how did Rosa die? Where is she buried? It's an excellent question, but it's one that we can't answer. We simply don't have the paperwork and the trail to follow. And a lot of people also ask, they say, "Eric, how did she just disappear? Is it that easy to do?" Back then it was. We believe that Carmichael wasn't her real last name. It's believed by many that she adopted the name Carmichael when she came to Gettysburg. But when she leaves, she simply uses another last name. That's why she's never been able to be found. Right? Folks, that is all I have for you guys tonight. Do you guys have any further questions for me?